Good morning, guys. Welcome to Wednesday's IM-based warm-up session. We're going to get going with some IM skipping in 3, 2, 1, go. I'm going to set the monitor up just in case. Dunford, you better be joining in on this. That's not even the right skipping. 20 seconds in. And stop. Hopefully you're all more switched on than me today and you're actually changing the skips. 2, 1, go. And stop. Then we'll go dorsal press in to set back. Just keep trying to turn your palms up towards the ceiling to get more stretch in your lats. Reverse lunge and rotate. So opposite knee to elbow. Keep your back straight. Make it a bit more challenging, lead with your elbow. Just keep your hands close to each other. And switch. Then we're going to go leg swings. Try to stay as tall as you can. Keep your hips facing the direction that you want the leg to swing. So find a fixed point on the horizon for your eyes. Into aeroplane. Always a fun one to do first thing in the morning. So build it up gradually as far as you can. Hold that hip position. Then switch sides. Shoulder circuit, so we're going to go IYTW scat press. So 2 in each position. Scap press, try and do it off your knees. So shoulder position set, hips where they should be. Tighten your stomach. And just push yourself up as far as you can, try and get your spine up past your shoulder blades. And then shoulder rolls. So 3 forward, turning your thumbs as you go through, and then 3 backwards. Plump Rice Krispies. Then into burpees. So a couple of them to go through. Make sure you isolate the 3 main positions. So bottom of a squat, push-up plank, bottom of a squat, and massive jump. Just try and make sure your back stays flat when you're at the bottom of that squat. And today's prep set, we're looking at skip medley, leg lowers, and then sit-ups. So still 30 seconds. AB, AC, and then ABC. 3, 2, 1, go. Just try and get your knee high, keep your lower back flat. And then for the B, kick out as far as you can. Don't let your chest drop. And then relax. Into leg lowers. 2, 3. Then finish off with sit-ups. That's 7. Back to skip medley. Starting with A skip. Into C. Try and get that done without leaning towards the opposite knee. Into leg lowers. And then sit-ups. Make sure you keep your back straight. Lead with your belly button, so you don't end up rounding at the top. 7 of those. We're back into the skip medley. We'll do 10 seconds on each skip. 2, 1, go. Take the arms away if it helps you focus on the legs. And then we'll go leg lowers. feel like your hip flexors are doing too much work, bend your feet close, go to the ceiling, concentrate on the lowering part. And sit-ups. Separate each rep, leaving the belly button. And finish on 7. We'll look at the main body today. So static core strength to start us off, Russian twists, rotation plank, press up plank march and Alekna, and then sit ups to finish. 45 on, 10 off. Starting with Russian twists. So grab a drink. And we'll go in 3, 2, 1, go. So always make sure your lower back doesn't round whatsoever. Sit up some more if you need to. Just try and drive opposite elbow towards opposite knee as much as you can, and then stop. 10 seconds rest, and we'll go into rotation plank. 2, 1, go. So on each rep to last about 6 seconds. So you're trying to control every part of it as best you can. And stop. Russian twist, then transition to press up plank march. In 2, 1, go. Shoulder blades sit down towards your hips, mid back flat. And if you struggle to raise your leg up without losing position, just bend your knee and get your foot towards the ceiling. So that when your hips start to work, they'll hold you flat, but the lever's shorter, so you don't have to extend through your lower back quite so much. 10 seconds left. And then stop. It's important with that you just reinforce that stability around your upper back so you don't arch. Then Aleknas to finish off. 2, 1, go. So load on your ankles and overhead. And stop. Sit ups, so you're going to do 8 sit ups this time. Eight. 20 seconds rest, then we're back into Russian twist. So Russian twist in 3, 2, 1, go. So it doesn't matter how heavy the thing you're holding is, keep your arms straight. So it's going to create a longer lever of the upper body. So you have to control everything from below your ribs down and reach with everything in the top half. Want to isolate it more, reach with your hands, keep your head forward and stop into rotation plank. Two, one, go. So the more time you spend between the start and the side plank, the more work your obliques have to do. And your scapula. How you doing, Lee? Last few seconds, and then relax into press up plank march. So if you end up pulling your heel up, just bending your knee, double check you've got that tension around your lower abs like you do during flutter kick. 2, 1, go. So even though it might feel biomechanically it's easier in terms of making your legs short, but if it's a movement you're not used to doing, it's going to feel a bit more challenging around your hips. So just keep double checking every couple of reps. Five seconds left, and then stop. Moving then into Aleknas. 2, 1, go. With the longer you hold the bottom position, the more it's going to challenge you. So you want more less reps and more time at the end range. And relax. Sit up, so you're going to do 9 this time. Then 20-second gap, back into Russian twist. So final round of part 1 today. Finish off with 10 sit-ups. I'm going to start with Russian twist in 2, 1, go. So you want to isolate your upper back, keep your face forward, keep your belly button forward, and then just reach with your shoulders. So that way you're truly starting to isolate your thoracic spine, keep your lumbar vertebrae where they are. And stop into rotation plank. Two, one, go. Hand off the floor before you start to rotate. And for the last 15, if you want to challenge, try and go side plank and then leg raise. And relax. Into press up plank march. Forearm or straight arm. 2, 1, go. Slight variations on the same pattern are going to cause you more fatigue because you're trying to send signals that you're not used to. Just make sure your knee doesn't drop too much, so when you go for that knee bend, keep it where it was before you took your foot away. Stop into electors. In 2, 1, go. So if your back starts to arch at all, you're going to keep switch to a lower load on your ankles. Well, this is going to be harder just in terms of keeping the hooks on, but we'll see what happens. Oh, even that's too much. And stop. Finish up with sit-ups, so 10 to finish off part 1. Keep your shoulders set so you're not leading with your face. And 10. So 1 minute off. And if the faces I'm pulling at the end are any indication, that's just how much concentration it takes to keep the last few reps looking how they should. Slider press ups then for movement skills. Into wide arm divers, curtsy lunge, and then finish an inverted row. 45 on, 10 off. Just going to get the power lats out. Slider press ups, if you haven't got frisbee, just go with like a compass press up, so overhead, work your way around the circle. In 2, 1, go. go. And if you have got a slider and you're not finding you can get any leverage at any point, just take it away and go with compass press up anyway. Relax there. Number 2, we're going wide arm divers. So hands, make sure you keep your elbows and wrists behind your face. 2, 1, go. Switch legs. And stop. 2 on each leg. Into currency lunge. 2, 1, go. So in terms of challenge, if you have something in front of you, you can hold up to your eye line. It increases the demand on your hip range of motion, but it also stops you from leaning forward. So if you're not holding anything, you might find that you start getting into this habit. It makes it a lot easier because you're not moving through the right pattern. Keep your shoulders set, hold something out in front. And stop. And then finish the inverted row. 2, 1, go. So shoulder set at the bottom of every rep. Remember, if you have to go wider to make it more challenging, you don't want to try and reach the top of the table wherever you're working from. Just pull until your elbows are in line with your ribs. Do you think that's about there for me? And then you need to make it more challenging from there. Yeah, that's about right. Straighten your legs a bit and relax. It's 20 seconds off. And we're going back into slider press ups. 2, 1, go. That's the wrong thing. So you have to go all the way down for the slider press ups. You can practice going halfway down as long as you feel like you can push with one and pull with the other. You're still going to try and develop some of that parascapular strength. So you want to try and develop scap stability. That's the way to go about doing it. So the top, remember, just the top position, you should feel like a push with one hand, pull with the other one, and relax into wide arm divers. And 2, 1, go. So again, more challenge around hip flexibility. If you go into that diver position, start with your knees together, hinge forward, and see if you can end up in that T shape with the bottom of your foot aiming at the ceiling. And swap sides. So this is really going to test your contralaterals just opposite sides. So hamstring on one, hip flexor on the other. Those that have been doing a lot of running, you might find your calves start to interfere as well. Relax. Curtsy lunge. 2, 1, go. Just go 20 seconds on one side, 20 on the other. Just make sure you keep pulling your shoulders down and setting them, so you don't end up just reaching forward as you lunge. Switch sides. So there's a lot of work on those glute muscles on the side of your body, because your knee's going across. So if you like, relax there. So you think about pigeon stretch, knees coming across, that's how you create that stretch. Then inverted row, 2, 1, go. Normally if you want to make a row harder, you've got to lift your feet up, but it will kind of depend on the height of what you're pulling from as well. So for me, if I want straight legs, I'll have to elevate my feet. And make sure no matter how wide you go, your elbows can still point down to the floor. So if you go so wide that your elbows have to come out here, you need to rein it in a little bit, just so you can get an even squeeze across all your back muscles. And stop. So one more time through. Start with split press up. 2, 1, go. Another great way to do it, wouldn't be ideal on your own, but if you had something you could hook a band to, put the band around your waist, you'll get more support. So again, you can just think about what your shoulders are up to. Or you can just go with that lowering phase. To go down and just try and keep tension in both of your shoulders. Relax to control the fall. Into wide arm divers. Go. Another trap, make sure that you don't start to rotate. So if you reach with your heel too much, you might start to twist your hips. Becomes more of an airplane. It's quite right to cut range, just to make sure that your body's in the same position it should be. Swap sides. So if you end up doing a rep like this, so it gets about there. If you have more flexibility, you'd finish it in that T shape. That's how you're going to develop it more effectively. Relax. And then curtsy lunge. 2, 1, go. So the more you step your feet away from each other to the side, the more challenging it will be. Switch legs. If you keep your feet too close to each other, you're basically just doing a normal lunge. And relax. Then inverted row to finish off, and then we're done. 2, 1, go. So we're going to try feet elevated, straight leg. I'll take that and relax. You just end up doing a lot more hip work as well, which can only benefit you. So we'll go super catch for quad stretch, then we'll revisit some more of the post pull exercises. So super catch, knee up against the wall. If you haven't got a wall nearby that you can use, just grab your own ankle to make sure your knee has lots of cushioning. And make sure you keep trying to push through your hip. So as I'm doing this, I'm trying to tilt that bone in the front, trying to tilt it up towards my head, switch sides. Swap over. Same idea, so if you relax your hips back towards the wall behind you, and then do the opposite, so think flutter kick, think leg raises. Trying to pull your hips up towards you from the front. Just use those bones as a marker. It's almost like you're trying to tip your hips that way and create a lot more stretch because you're stretching them from the top. Relax there. We're going to hamstrings, so from the same position. This is a more static alternative for the top of your hamstring compared to the active leg raise. Just make sure that your back stays straight. Start from the top, hinge forward so you feel that stretch. If you don't, shift your heel forward a little bit more. And then just hold that position until you start to relax. So instead of just forcing yourself into a bigger range each time, hold one place until you get more comfortable. Swap sides. It doesn't matter if you end up using support, as long as it means that your back stays straight. So remember, the more open your knee is, the more you flex your hip, the more you might start to feel it around your upper hamstring, like below your hip. So for those of you that find your lower back is something that you struggle with during sit and reach or during your block starts, like tight hamstrings isn't going to affect your lower back position, but if you can relax all these muscles around this part of your body, it might have an impact. Stop. Then we'll go arch or stretch. So I'm going to try and tick off upper back and lower back at the same time. So hips, chest facing the ceiling, hips facing to the side. Hands on top of each other and slide them away. If you find that your knee keeps coming up, try and get your foot further away from you. So you've got more of an anchor. and then try not to force anything. So if your hand doesn't quite get to the floor, just do a couple more repetitions. Take your time. So 3 on each for today. Then shin box for hips again. And the more you practice these ones, the easier they'll become. So keep your chest and shoulders set. So if you're practicing this, you want to make sure you're not slouched like that. Push your hands down. And then try to get to a point where you can get hands off the ground. But if you have to round your back to get it done, then just slide back a little bit, open your hips some more. Then we'll go lats. So kneeling. Knee with your elbow, try and push it away from your hips. So the more control you exert at end range, the more you're going to start to feel you're going to relax. Switch over. So again, I'm going to have my hands to the left, so I want my hips to try and shift to the left as well. Don't worry so much about getting your chest down, because it will still do just about the same thing. Just find a position where you feel you've got more control. Then into chest to finish off. So kneeling down. So the main difference between this and the standing chest stretch is those rotations that we tried yesterday with the roller. So arm up, try and twist yourself to the side, keep your shoulders set like you do for all your core and plank work. Try and twist, then you're going to try and squeeze like you're finishing a press up for a couple of seconds, relax, and then check again, move your hand further away, rotate, relax, squeeze, push your hand down, and then check by twisting, and finish on the other side. I'll give you a side on view. You have to make sure that your shoulder and hip are stacked on top of each other and your stomach is set. So halfway through, make sure you switch hand positions. Twist and relax. That's it for today, and we'll see you all tomorrow.